Gon' kick it off then. Whoa. Gon' kick it off then. It ain't a game, kick it off then. Whoa. So gon' kick it off then. Huh? What we talking about, it goes deep.
Greetings and welcome to the Super Bowl edition of WTF Too, Women Talk Football 2 on ESPN the Network. I'm Latasha Miles, aka Joan Madden, the Gridiron Goddess, and I am accompanied by my lovely, dope, amazing, fantastic co-host with her new hair. Who it is? Let the good people know who you are.
I don't know who they. That's what the Bengals say, right? Who they? Now, what's up, good people? It's the one, the only, the touchdown tomboy. Yes, y'all, my husband finally let me do it, and I'm feeling myself. I really am feeling myself. Okay, listen. By the way, if y'all see me pick up this little glass, this is not liquor. This is water in a can. This is the most amazing. Listen, I'm not giving them no ads, so I ain't trying to listen. But if y'all want to give us, y'all can give us an ad. We would love y'all monetization. But this liquid death water, y'all, we addicts, okay? I don't know what it is about water in a can, but it's real good. So if y'all see me drinking that, I'm not drinking on the job. It's water.
That's some good marketing though, like with the bottle, with the can and stuff like that, and the calligraphy on it. So good stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have grabbed it off the can alone. And then, the fact that this water is appeasing too. But yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, it's crazy because we went to the store, and this guy, we were on the water aisle, and we were basically fussing about what kind of water we're gonna get, because we always get some type of spring water. And and the guy he grabbed it, and my husband was like, I've been looking at that, but I don't know if I want to drink something called liquid death. And he was like, actually, I really like it. And I was like, water in a can? I told my husband, I said, he must be a recovering alcoholic or something, because there ain't no way nobody drinking no water out of no can. That don't even make good sense. So then my husband's like, I said, but you know what? Curiosity gonna kill this cat, because I got to try it now. So we got it home, and I said, well, we got to put it in the refrigerator. Girl, I don't know what it is. He right about it. We've been ordering these things like clockwork. And these things are, how they like $1 a can?
I don't know. That's about cheapest. Some of them bottled waters cost that much now too. So I don't know. You might have come up on a deal.
Yeah. So it's good though. We like them.
That's what's up. Well, we got another pleasant surprise. In addition to your liquid death water in a can, a pleasant surprise is the biggest game of the season. Some surprise new faces in there as well. Super Bowl 56 is upon us in LA, and the LA Rams take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Amid gearing up to the grand finale, all 9 NFL coaching vacancies were filled, and not without controversy. Alvin Kamara added to the list of legal situations that occurred in Las Vegas this season. The NFL will play games in London and Mexico again next season, but also they're adding Germany to the itinerary. And if you want to watch NFL on Thursday nights next season, you won't be able to do it on NFL Network anymore. You got to have an Amazon Prime subscription, no doubt. And so, yeah, we have so much to talk about this week, but we're going to dedicate it specifically to the big game, talk about nothing but the Super Bowl on this episode of WTF Too. So here we are, kicking it off with the first quarter, doing things a little bit differently this time, playing kind of a round robin, rapid fire, if you will, and describe which team has the advantage in various aspects of the game. So let's do it. Touchdown Tomboy, who has the advantage on defense?
The Rams. Von Miller and Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Donald. Von Miller looking to get another Super Bowl another Super Bowl MVP. That whole company. And let's not forget, Cincy allowed 9 sacks on Joe Burrow earlier this postseason. So yeah, I got to give the edge to the Rams on that one as well. All right, TT, who has the advantage at quarterback?
I'm gonna have to give this one to Joe Cool. I don't know. Joe Cool is just too cool. He's cool, calm, collective, and I think it's gonna pay him huge dividends.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Despite his youth, Joe Burrow is such a poised quarterback. And the other thing about it, we've seen traces of the Detroit Lions, Matt Stafford, and they can be kind of scary sometimes. Never seen Joe Burrow unrattled. I agree with you on that one and going with Joe Cool. Advantage on the coaching staff. T-Squared, who you like?
Ooh. I'm going to give the edge to Sean McVay simply because he's been here before.
Yeah, I went with McVay Day too. it's crazy that February 3rd, 2019, that was when his Rams lost to the Patriots. February 4th, 2019, the Cincinnati Bengals actually hired Zach Taylor. So they're literally like a day apart from the bad news to the good news on those. But yeah, like you said, McVay's been here before. I give him the edge as well. We're going with Big Sean on that one. All right, TT, who has the advantage at wide receiver versus secondary?
Woo, I gotta go with the Rams, man. Cooper Kupp, OBJ all day.
Okay, I actually went a different direction. I went Cincinnati on this one, simply because Zach Taylor was a wide receivers coach. I think he can kind of play with that a little bit. I think that might be a bonus for them. And then, I know Jalen Ramsey is the self-proclaimed best defensive back in the season. I mean, self-proclaimed best defensive back in the league right now. But the thing is, him asking for that one-on-one with Jamar Chase. Don't forget, Jamar Chase has been with Joe Burrow before in a football finals. Now, Ramsey ain't never been that deep with this. He's been to an AFC Championship game, but they got that camaraderie and familiarity. I kind of like the Bengals a little bit more on that one.
And that's exactly why I that in the same the opposing reason is exactly why I like OBJ and Cooper Kupp. Just the experience. I feel like the experience. I know it's the first time for OBJ, but for Cooper Kupp, he's he's so composed. Like, I would say Cooper Kupp is like the alter ego of Joe Cool as a wide receiver. So it's like he's very composed, and I mean he usually delivers when they ask him to. And so I think the fact that that their secondary, like they've had some issues. They've been able to maintain. Cincinnati has been able to maintain for the most part, but they have had a few issues with Eli Apple. Cooper Kupp always seems to find where the holes are in those and exploit those defenses, and I think he'll do it again on Sunday.
Gotcha. Great observation there. Moving on to the second quarter, the Rams are a 4-point favorite, playing at home. A more experienced coach in Sean McVay. He just went to the Super Bowl 3 years ago, as we just recently spoke on. Cincy, they are not new to this underdog role, especially their last 2 games in Tennessee, knocking off the number 1 seed. And then the week after, defeating Kansas City in overtime, the previous 4-time AFC championship. They have been to 4 AFC championship games. So, we're talking about Cincy here getting some putting on their big boy pants in those games. And how do you think that Cincy can take some of those factors from those previous games and take these things and have them favor them in LA instead of the home team and use it to their advantage?
All right. So first things first, even though they're playing in LA does not have, I don't feel like LA has a huge fan following.
Right, it's a pretentious crowd out there.
And so because this is such a big deal for the Bengals, I'm almost scared to see if there's going to be an overflow of Bengal fans in the stadium. 1. And just because of the momentum of the Bengals. So I think that could be advantageous to them. 2, I think that because Cincinnati is playing with the house's money, they have way less pressure because they're not expected to win. So they just out there playing with the house's money. So they out there just doing whatever. So I think that's vantage point number 2. Number 3, I think because Sean McVay is expected to win, Sean McVay, he often does too much. So he can oftentimes make the offense complicated, or he do too many things for no reason instead of just keeping it simple. And that sometimes spells disaster. And he was on the verge of doing that the game before. The last game that they played against San Francisco, because he was just doing too much, because it's like this, he wants to win so bad that he overcomplicates the process for no reason. And I think that Cincinnati could possibly use that against them. And I think the other thing is that when you have a team that people already say are playing better than you, or that is supposed to be a better team than you, then it is very, very important to have the coolest quarterback in the game to play his position. Joe Cool doesn't sweat, aka Macaulay Culkin. He does not sweat. He does not, like, he is so like he even dresses as cool as he is. On, like, he should just walk around with ice chips all day, because that's just how cool he is, So it's like he's cool. He never cracks. I haven't seen him crack all season. And so when you got that going on, I think they could use that, to their advantage. And then the other thing is that when you have a team like the Rams who have struggled to stop the run, if you can get Joe Mixon running and they've struggled to stop the run, and they're not expecting Cincinnati to run, they're expecting Cincinnati to be this pass heavy offense and they can get Mixon going, then you might have another problem because they're expecting y'all to go passing. And if Joe Mixon can get going and then all of a sudden, Donald and them can't get off and they can't get back there to Joe, you might have a whole nother issue going on. And so I think they should try to get the running game going with Joe Mixon, and that may work in their favor. And I think those are some of the things, or quite a few of the things, that you can use in your favor to basically use their strengths against them.
Gotcha. And I'm glad you took the X and O's approach, because a lot of times we agree. I mean, because it's like we have very logical responses. And I'm glad you took the XO approach more on the field, because I took the contrasting approach, more so just the other intangibles not even associated on the field. Like, just keep playing the way that you have been. Very poised, very cool. One thing about Cincinnati is they've been a very even keel team this entire playoffs. Very poised, very composed, never panic. Even when they've been behind by 18 points against Kansas City at halftime, they never rattled. I mean, we've seen how they've been able to come behind by double-digit deficit on the road, by the way. The second half adjustments, the necessary moves they've made, the strategic approach that they've taken to the game. We've seen them create points off of turnovers. I mean, they've not had, when they've created turnovers, they have not wasted those possibilities. Their kicker's been automatic, Evan McPherson, so he gets them points, or they've been able to convert on touchdowns. We've seen the quarterback get sacked 9 times in the game. Now, when you hear that, other than when Donovan McNabb did in the NFC Championship game, that's never happened before, where a quarterback gets sacked 8 and 9 times and they still win the game. But Cincinnati managed to do that. Again, unwavered approach that they've taken to this game. They've knocked off higher seeds. LA's a favorite in this game too. We've seen them knock down the number 1 seed. We've seen them knock down the team that's gone to 4 consecutive AFC Championship games. Oh, by the way, the coach went to 4 championship games in the NFC and the AFC. So a very experienced coach. And here you got Zach Taylor in his 3rd year as a head coach with the Bengals, and he was able to send him home. So yeah, just remain steadfast. I mean, you've applied pressure, you've faced adversity, you've been successful in doing it each and every game that you've had in the postseason. So don't steer away from that. Teams have been highly favored in all those games as well. And you've just always just stuck with your script, kept the same energy. You've already exceeded expectations. And honestly, there's really nothing else to prove. I mean, like you've said, they're playing with house money. And of course, you want the Lombardi, but Cincinnati, you've done your job. You've done your task already. This underdog crown that they worn, they've had so much class with it. If they very much say they have you can say what you want about us, but we know what we're capable of attitude that they've taken. They've caught teams off guard. They've been slept on. Like, while everybody else picked the opposing team, here comes Cincinnati popping a pin in that balloon. And you got one more chance to do it again, to shock the world. So yeah, I honestly think that also with this postseason, that the Bengals have actually had more quality wins than LA have. I know LA has knocked out the Super Bowl champions, but it was a damaged, a very fragile Tampa Bay Bucks team that they played against. Oh, and by the way, I forgot all about that. Matt Stafford was from Tampa, so he was kind of home, So he had a little bit more of a chip on his shoulder as well. Who won't want to win on where they're from? You know what I'm saying? And then just beating the teams that they have, it just seems a lot more quality to me. A number 1 overall seed who had an extra week to prepare for them, and they got their running back, and it didn't matter. Cincinnati still beat the teams. So I like Cincinnati just to keep that same momentum, that same attitude, that same approach. But the one thing that you are definitely going to have to do on the field is protect your quarterback way better than you've done in some of those previous games, because of the defensive line that you're going against. So this must be a flawless game from the offensive line against that defense. So make sure Burrow's not supine, and that will help you excel by protecting your quarterback and keeping them clean. All right, so T Square, touchdown time, boy. What you got for us today with the halftime presentation?
All right, so it's crazy. So this is gonna be Matt Stafford's first Super Bowl, and this is gonna be Joe Cool's first Super Bowl. So I just said, let me just look up some first things, okay? Some first things first. What are some first things that have ever happened? And since we are a show of women, then I like to do a list of firsts for women. All right,
Okay.
so here's our list of first. Okay. These are some important firsts too, by the way. I mean, y'all gonna see. These are some really important firsts, by the way. So some good ones. So first of all, in 2021, the number one first for me was in 2021, Sarah Thomas became the first female ref to officiate a Super Bowl as a line judge.
That was dope.
All right. Number two, Mauro Javadari and Lori Locust were the first coaches to win a Super Bowl last year for Tampa Bay.
And no clue.
That's number two. Number three, in 1987, Gail Sierens was the first woman to call a play-by-play NFL game on NBC. And that game was Seattle versus Kansas City. The next time that happened was exactly 30 years later by Beth Mowings. 1987. Y'all, if I could have seen, I gotta go and find. I know it's on YouTube. I'm gonna watch the whole thing, by the way, because that is the I want to call a play-by-play game. Like that is a dream for me. So I'm going to go find that game. So I'm going to find it, and I might be in tears about it because I'm like, oh my God,
It's dope, yeah.
like that is dope. All right. Next, in 1997, Amy Trask was the first CEO of the Oakland Raiders. She was the first female CEO of the Oakland Raiders. Number five, in 2020, Kate Sowers was the first woman to coach a Super Bowl, to coach in a Super Bowl, and she was an assistant to the 49ers. So now the women above were the first ones to win a Super Bowl, but she was the first one to coach in a Super Bowl. All right. Now, in 2021 as well, which to me, of course, because I'm a Black female, Jennifer King was the first Black woman to serve as a full-time NFL assistant coach, and she's the running back coach for the Washington Now Commanders. And that is a list of firsts for our beautiful women in the NFL or the American League or the National Football League. And now we make up 38% of front. I was reading that today. We make up 38% of front offices and staff. So the women are coming on up, and I'm excited to see it. And they're making great strides, man. The next move up for Jennifer King, she keep on track. She gonna be head coach soon. OCDC one of them soon. I can't wait to see it. I know it's coming. Whew.
That would be dope. I gotta get used to
baby.
Yeah, I gotta get used to that Commanders. Like hearing you say it, I was like, I forgot they're the Commanders.
Yes,
now.
the Washington Commanders.
I keep forgetting about that.
I actually think I would have liked the Admirals better.
I did too. I would like the Admirals.
I was like the Commanders, like what?
Yeah. I like the Admirals better too, because we could have played with like David Robinson that used to play for the Spurs. Like could have had a lot of fun with like bobblehead signs and not the bobblehead, fat head signs and stuff. I don't know. But I'm just glad. I'm glad it's not my team that I have to deal with and buy merchandise for, nonetheless. And yeah, that's definitely some beautiful stuff that you spoke of. And speaking of beautiful, I just cannot get over. I'm just so engulfed with your haircut. Like I don't know, it just really, really emphasizes your beauty. Like your hair was hiding a lot of this. I'm just really like mesmerized. I don't know, but like not in a girl. I don't even want to say like, ooh, girl crush kind of like. But I'm just like really like wow. Eric, I'm glad Eric finally crossed over it. But see, it took him, see how long he waited? He could have saw this a lot earlier. So Eric, I'm blaming you. But yeah, so I'm just really, really mesmerized. Like, look at that chef's humble with this hair. So if on the playback, if you see me kind of like just randomly smiling, it's just different angles and just like yeah, it's a good look. Yeah, it's good looking. So yeah, with the women that you were talking about, I think that's a great segue because I think it's about time that baton get passed to us too. So Of course, we've talked about things offline, but nonetheless, we'll get to all that stuff later. But good stuff as always. Giving up those first very beautiful and inspirational, empowering halftime presentation from you, touchdown time, boy. So good stuff. All right, so resuming with the third quarter, some of the storylines coming into this game are very interesting. The Matt Stafford story, no playoff wins in Detroit, and finally getting to a Super Bowl. Odell never won a playoff game either in his mid-season shift. Will he get his first ring as well? The heartbreak for Aaron Donald and Sean McVay 3 years ago, losing that Super Bowl to the Patriots. Do they avenge that loss? The Rams' other Super Bowl, they won that while they were the St. Louis franchise. So if they win, what are we doing? One for LA, two for the Rams, or one for LA, one for St. Louis. Got to figure that out if they win. Cincy, the kids are out of school on 2/14, win or loss. Like, what's up with that? Like, what happens win or loss? Because I know as a kid, like, dang, I'll be missing my Valentine's Day candy on 2/14. Y'all gonna pass it out on Friday or what? Are you gonna do the icky shuffle if you score a touchdown? Just again, lots of storylines building up to this game. Some beautiful stuff here, touchdown time, boy. So out of all the storylines, all the plot twists and things building up to this game, what's your favorite storyline leading up to the Super Bowl?
Okay. So the storyline that I absolutely love the most is probably one that you have not even mentioned. And I don't even know if you've even seen this storyline, but I think every day I have seen a different meme of Macaulay Culkin and how cool he is in his dress and like how he's just pimping it to the Super Bowl with all this swag and moxie, like he deserves to be there. And it's like, I think that's the story. And you know why it is? It's because it's entertaining. He's very moxie-ish, like he got this swaggerish, like it's like this flamboyant, cocky humility type thing going on. And it's weird. And it's very, it sucks you in almost, like, and it's nothing against Matt Stafford, it's nothing against OBJ, because OBJ kind of got that cocky, but it's like Joe Burrow never says anything, but then he releases tidbits like, I like Kid Cudi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Know what my favorite movie is? And you'll be like, what? Out of everything, that's the movie you like what? So it's like, Pootie Tang was his favorite movie. And I'm like, what? Like, really? Huh? And so I think it's more the narrative of Joe really is like the kid from up the street, like the homeboy from the corner store. Like, he the homeboy up the street. Like, that is the neighbor. Let me go ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. You know my neighbor Joe around 2 blocks down. Like, he good people, you know what I'm saying? I know he a white boy and all, but he real good people. Like, that's my boy. Like, I rocks with Joe, you know what I'm saying? So it's that narrative, like, Joe, I want to chill out with Joe because I'm betting you, Joe, we will have a smashing good time. Like, just, I can see it. Like, I bet you Joe is just really, really down to earth, good people. People be like, he do what? And you wouldn't even ever know it. Like, you could take Joe somewhere across and people be like, he do what? And they'll be like, yeah, you would never know it because he probably don't act like it. And I think that has been the thing that I've just been sucked in, like with everything else, is because he just, I'm normal. I'm just Joe, just Joe. I love it. Like, I love it. I love it. I love it.
You're right. You just by looking at him, if you know who he was in person, you wouldn't know he was a quarterback. Like you said, you would just know him from like, oh, the guy from Home Alone grew up. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh, that's what. Okay, I ain't seen you do from Home Alone in a while. Okay,
he didn't look like that no more.
right, exactly. But yeah, definitely a lot of storylines in this one. I love that there are so many new faces, all these unexpected matchups. Somebody from LSU is going to get a ring, that's for sure too. And it's not really a true intense rivalry in this one. This is probably one of the most friendliest, relatable, likable Super Bowls I've ever watched in a long time. Because every year I'm either going for somebody because I don't like the other team, or like my team might be in it, or whatever the case may be. But this one, I just want a good game and don't care who wins. But yeah, like I do have two favorite storylines and one from each team, and the first one is Matt Stafford. Just due to the fact that we're talking about a guy who never won a playoff game in his career, Detroit. Then he comes to LA, and not only does he win playoff games, he actually helps to lead his team to Super Bowl. Also, he just turned 34 on Monday. So you got a guy just turning 34 on Monday, a chance to hoist the Lombardi on Sunday. Monday is Valentine's Day. He's married. So that's like, can you imagine celebrating Valentine's Day right after winning a Lombardi? Then you know they're going to Disney and just everything, like a culmination of what kind of week that capping off with another year of life. And then it could end with the other activities that come associated with the Super Bowl. I just think that is terrific for him if it happened. Well, if it doesn't happen, it's still a great story anyway. But if it does happen, to cap it off with that, that will be a beautiful thing. And then just also thinking, it's crazy that on January 31st, 2021, Matt Stafford was traded to the LA Rams. On January 31st, 2022, they go to the Super Bowl exactly 1 year later. And I don't know, like, that resonated with me because I'm like, that was just a lesson on patience. And I don't know, it just honed in, like it really hit. You know, you and I, like I said, we've talked about different things offline. It can just take 1 year, how drastic somebody's life can change in just 1 year if you just have patience, if you just persevere and don't give up. So I don't know, that one just really, really hit me like, wow, just 1 year, no playoff wins to a Super Bowl. So I thought that was a really, really, really beautiful thing, just that magnificent turnaround right there. I don't know, like I said, it was just really, really relatable to me. And then here we are, this guy is playing in the Super Bowl in his own backyard 1 year later. So I just thought that was really, really beautiful. Now with the Bengals, that team returning to the Super Bowl for the first time since the 90s. That's probably part of the reason nobody got a chance to hate on. I mean, they really didn't have a lot of relevancy. Like, you know, they like, oh, they didn't beat my team 10 times, or like, oh, they didn't stop my team from winning the Super Bowl. So that's probably why, in addition to their players, like you said, Joe Cool and stuff, I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why they're such a likable team. They've also become America's darlings since getting rid of Patrick Mahomes' girlfriend and brother. Like, people kind of root, like so many people are grateful to that too. So yeah, I mean, they become very, very likable as a result with that too. But also there's a handful, you know, for those that do not know, Shalika and I are both in North Carolina. So there is quite a few players on the Cincinnati Bengals team that are from North Carolina. And, you know, it's great because your Cali schools, your Texas schools, your LSUs and your Bamas, all of them get so much credit for the NFL players that they've had, either winning Heisman's or winning Super Bowls and things like that. But Cincinnati has a chance to really, really make North Carolina a big deal. North Carolina's already on the map, but they can really cap that off. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge some of the players on Cincinnati that have these North Carolina ties. I'm starting with the defensive lineman, Larry Ogunjobi. I hope I said that right. Ogunjobi is a native of Greensboro. He played at UNC Charlotte from 2012 to 2016. DJ Reader, another defensive lineman, he attended Grimsley High School in Greensboro. Jermaine Pratt, linebacker, a native of High Point, played at NC State University. BJ Hill, defensive lineman, born in Oakboro, North Carolina. Hill played at NC State from 2014 to 2017. Got Deontay Smith on the offensive line as a tackle. He played for ECU from 2016 to 2020. The safety, Jesse Bates, played college in Winston-Salem, college football at Wake Forest. And then Akeem Davis Gaither, he played at Appalachian State. So lots of local talent on this AFC Championship team. And it's been such a pleasure seeing so much, so many media outlets, like they've been showcasing some of their highlights from high school, from college, really, really showing a lot of their resumes on tape and exposing them to people that were not familiar to them. And there's also been some really feel-good stories. They've been acknowledging their mothers and showing their parents and finding out where they got this football lineage from. And surprisingly, though, a couple of the guys, their moms actually played basketball. They didn't get it from their dad. They got their athleticism from their mom. So just seeing that, that exposure, a beautiful thing. So happy for those guys, especially the natives, the NC homies, all those storylines brewing out at Cincinnati. So yeah, it'd be nice to see. There'd probably be some local celebrations too if Cincinnati won the Super Bowl. So beautiful things there with all the talent blossoming from North Carolina. So just wanted to acknowledge that and show them some love as well. All right, so concluding with the fourth quarter here, we have these two teams who are dead evenly matched. Touchdown Tomboy, both of these teams scored 460 points this season. Like, who knew? I don't know. We might need to take 460 and make that our pick 3. But nonetheless, so what better way for them to break that 460 point tie than one of them being a winner of the Lombardi this Sunday? So Touchdown Tomboys, Super Bowl 56 going down in LA this Sunday. Who will win it and how will they do it?
So here's the thing. You know that's my line, right?
I know it gets good. It gets good.
Here's the thing. So now, y'all know I have just grown I just love some Ojoku. I love some Ojoku. I do love some Ojoku. I love Ojoku. And I love, what the Cincinnati Bengals have got going on. However, I think that the Rams do win. I think that the Rams win because, let's face it, the Rams done they done burned all the ships. They done gave up all the apples. They done put all the eggs out the basket.
Right.
You know how they say burn all the ships, take all that food out, and they don't have no eggs in the basket. They don't have anything else. So this is a true, you talking about all or nothing we watch on Amazon, but no, this is true all or nothing.
In your life, yes.
This is true all or nothing. So because this is a true all or nothing, I got to go with them because they done gave it all. So
yes.
It's either all or they ain't getting nothing. Cause they done mortgaged everything that they have.
You right.
For this run. So I think that because they've mortgaged so much that they are going to force themselves to do what they have to do to figure out how to win on Sunday because they done mortgaged everything. They don't have no way home. They done mortgaged, they done burned all the ships.
Right.
They ain't got no pieces left. They don't have no boards, nothing. No pieces of nothing left. Everything is gone. So they ain't got a choice but to win over wherever they at. They ain't got no choice but to win the war. They got to win the war. That's the only way they survive. They got to win the war. And so I'm going with the Rams. I think that I could see quite a few things going on. I could see that Aaron Donald and Von Miller and that defensive front could either have a really big day, or I could see either OBJ and Cooper Kupp having a really big day. I could see either way, either one of those. But I'm only picking them because they done mortgaged everything. And when you ain't got nothing, when your back's up against the wall, you tend to come out swinging.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I agree with you. This seems like this is probably one of the most desperate attempts for a Super Bowl. Everything the Rams did. When's the next time they get a first round draft pick? Order to never. It was. I'm agreeing with you for a lot of those same reasons about the Rams. Plus it's like it's in Hollywood. It's like they say Hollywood couldn't write a more perfect script. And it's kind of like, ooh, this might be the script, with the Matt Stafford, and they're in Hollywood, they're in LA. The first 54 years, we never had the team who was hosting the Super Bowl actually play in the Super Bowl until last year. Not only did that hosting team play in the Super Bowl, they won. Could it be deja vu? Could we get that a second time this season? We'll find out on Sunday. But again, maybe this is the script that Hollywood wrote. And this is nothing against the Bengals or the fact that they're my division rivals, but just the biggest factor to me in this game is the thing that resonates in my mind so much as far as, not just a win or loss, like who won the game or who lost the game. But if I point to one thing that was the most bizarre and lopsided thing that happened to me in this postseason, it is those 9 sacks that Joe Burrow faced. Because all the other games were so good, so close. And, it came down to a field goal here, a special team play here. That's the norm. a missed tackle here, a broke tackle here, somebody blew coverage. That's normal. But 9 sacks. I think Donovan had 8 in the championship game, but 9 was unheard of until it happened to Joe Burrow. So that stands out to me. That is very poignant to me when I think about how this playoffs went. And then we're talking about that defensive line. And I saw what they did to Brady a couple of weeks ago. And I saw what they did to Brady in that Super Bowl. Their offense was the stagnant part. The defense played well. Unless you triple team Aaron Donald, but that's going to limit you to 8 other people on defense. And then that means the Rams are going to have 10. I mean, that's going to limit Cincinnati to 8 other people on their offense. And then the Rams are going to have 10 other people who can kind of float, So you kind of pick your poison with how you're going to handle Donald in this one. And he's hungry. Donald's like, them 3 defensive MVP awards, they're great. They're cute. But every time they put the camera on him, I got to get a ring. I want my ring. That man, like, it's kind of like putting teeth, waiting on the tooth fairy to get your teeth. And like, I can't wait to see, or the Christmas Eve and can't wait to see what Santa. That's Aaron Donald's motive about, like, that's how he feels about that ring right now. And I don't know. It's just, plus with them going to get Jalen Ramsey. And Jalen Ramsey came very close in the AFC Championship game to beat Brady. They lost it in the second half, but they really, really gave the Patriots all they could handle in that first half. So we got a hungry Jalen Ramsey. Also, I just think that Cincinnati, they're great and they're a young team. I just feel like, I know there's not a guarantee that, you win the Super Bowl. I mean, that you go in the Super Bowl and you come back. Statistics show that does not fare well for the Super Bowl winner or loser in most cases. But the window is closing on LA after this. Like, how are you going to be able to keep affording all these people? How are you going to afford Von Miller next year again? Odell got all this money with bonuses from his contract and what he did in the postseason. And, Matt Stafford's 34 now. Like, how are you going to be able to keep funding this? So it is do or die right now. It is. It's like you said, it's all or nothing. It's definitely win or go home, even though your home's in your backyard and you don't have far to travel. But they're like, LA, this is your shot. You're not getting back to the Super Bowl next year. If you lose, that team's going to break up. The chemistry's not going to be there. Again, you're not going to be able to fill whatever holes that happen. You're not going to be able to fill them in the draft because of everything that you gave up. I like the term that you use. You mortgage everything to get to this. So are you going to let everything that you did kind of disintegrate to this point? So I don't know. I don't know. I think more so for those reasons and just the offensive line versus the Rams defensive line. Other than that, I can't think of any other reasons to pick the Rams because they both scored 460 points. So they're well matched. Cincinnati has a young, aggressive team, a young, hungry team. They've proven so much. So I don't take any of that away from Cincinnati, but it is mainly just those 2 factors. Everything LA gave up, the experience in the previous Super Bowl, and just the fact that they don't have many more chances after that. I think it's going to be a close one, though, 27-24-ish, 31-28-ish, 31-27, something like that. Maybe not so much with the score. It might be a good defensive battle, but I think it's going to be another close game, which is all that we saw pretty much in these playoffs. There might have been 1 or 2 blowouts. We've been very spoiled in this playoffs, and I think we're going to get that one more time with the Super Bowl as well. I like the Rams at home in a close one. All right, so OT, kind of different this time. There's no games to pick. We just picked it in the fourth quarter, but just a random conglomeration about halftime. It's an area of expertise that you do so well on WTF Too anyway, so this is right up your alley. This perfect for you. This is your driving lane. So we're just going to combine all the stuff like with halftime, because there is, I saw a meme that was like, I heard that Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop, Kendrick Lamar, and Mary J. Blige are performing during, there was a football game during their concert. So like people are looking at that as well. Like, okay, we're getting a concert in the middle of a football game. The focus has went more to the acts. So yeah, we're just going to combine everything going on with the halftime show here. We want to know who you're looking forward to seeing during the halftime performance, Touchdown Tomboy. What have been your favorite halftime shows of all time? Your thoughts on Jay-Z's involvement in getting this type of halftime show that, the ball's kind of moving, the pendulum's kind of swinging since he's been involved. We've kind of been swinging more to the urban hip hop inspired acts, but also it could be that because it's in LA, the ties of having a lot of LA acts, which makes perfect sense to me. But yeah, nonetheless, let's just break down everything, all your thoughts on the halftime shows of the past, of the present, and Jay-Z's involvement with that. What do you think, Touchdown Tomboy?
I think in the last few years, just because of all of the controversy that has gone on between the NFL and just racial tensions and all sorts of things, they had a hard time just booking acts and getting people to perform or to have balanced acts, if that makes sense. And so I think that the acts have gone downhill in the past few years, but they've had some legendary acts. Okay, you know, Prince, in legendary, Beyonce, legendary, with Whitney Houston singing Star Spangled Banner by itself. I mean, legendary. You know what I'm saying? So they've had some legendary performers, be there. Janet Jackson and Justin with the whole boot, that legendary. I mean,
that was
come on.
your Super Bowl.
You see what I'm saying? So I mean, they had tons of legendary acts. You know what I'm saying? Lady Gaga, you know, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta be honest. I've seen legendary performances in the Super Bowl. It hasn't been until recent years with all the drama and all the political mumbo jumbo is what they like to call it, or what I like to call it. A lot of the political propaganda is the correct word, but I know, for the political correct people, all of the political propaganda has gotten into it, and so it's taken a lot of the fun out of it. In terms of this season, I'm feeling a little bit of nostalgia, because this is from my era. The people performing are from my era. So it's kind of like Mary J. sharing my world. Okay, I'm getting that. Dr. Dre. Snoop, like, what I'm saying, the LBC. What I'm talking about, girl. Jen and girl.
Right.
Listen here. If they come out talking about girl. Girl, I'm gonna be like, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, girl. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
They come out with ain't nothing but a G thing, girl. Listen. And then Eminem, Marshall Mathers. I don't know who we gonna get. Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers. I don't know who we gonna get. And then Kendrick Lamar's been missing for a few years. Like, we haven't seen him in a while. And I don't really even listen to a lot, but my husband, he likes Kendrick Lamar. So honestly, I don't really know a lot about him. I do know there's one song, DNA. I do like that song. But I do know he hasn't been on the scene in a while. And so it should be quite entertaining. I think I'm here. I'm ready to tune in and see Mary, just all across the stage. I think I'm ready for it. So, cause Mary, she can give you that pain and going down, honey. But when she do that, girl, she in there now. She in there now. She ready. Girl, I be ready now. Let me tell you something. So I'm ready for it, girl. I think it's gonna be nostalgic, and people have been memeing up to it, so I know it's coming. And I hope they give us all that they got. I'm sure that they will. It'll be interesting to see Dr. Dre, because I know he's had a stroke, or since all of this has happened, and so I'm hoping that he's recovered well. And I know he's had a lot of going on with the divorce and stuff like that too. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see exactly what performance that they put together. So yeah, I'm here for it.
And what do you think about Jay-Z, like just his involvement with everything musically in the NFL?
I think that a lot of the talents that they're now getting, they wouldn't be able to book without them.
Right.
So I mean, that says a lot in itself. Because regardless of how people feel, Jay-Z is definitely a businessman, and a lot of people probably do a lot of things off of Jay-Z's word. And just because of who he and Beyonce are, and and what they've done in the industry, and just what Jay has done alone, even himself. So it's kind of like they just the things that he's been able to do as an artist, over for so long and still be relevant. And so it's kind of like the NFL understood the assignment and said, hey, we're going to book good talent. We're going to have to get a mogul up in here. And Jay is definitely one in his own right. So they did it right in terms of that.
And he fired a shot at them too. One of those songs him and Beyonce had together on the Carter's album, he was like, he took a shot at the NFL about how him and Beyonce didn't need the NFL anyway because they were already selling out stadiums and arenas.
They were. That's true.
Right. Yeah, Beyonce's tour was in football stadiums because she had gotten too big for like Coliseum type thing. So yeah, it's interesting how that all came and
think about it. That whole Coachella thing. They had to do that over a period because they had so many people trying to come and see her. They had to do her performances like over a period of some days.
Exactly.
Because so many people were trying to come and see her. She has a whole hive following.
Right.
Like, that is nuts to me. So he didn't lie.
Right. They're colossal for sure. And the thing though, like I appreciate Jay-Z's contribution to the entertainment aspect of the NFL, but I will not be completely satisfied till we get Janet back out there. Especially after watching the Lifetime documentary and her talk about that with the Nipplegate incident and how forgiving she is of Justin Timberlake. And plus the fact that y'all actually let Justin Timberlake perform at a Super Bowl halftime show a few years ago by himself. It was the one in Minneapolis, the one that Philly won a few years ago. So y'all let Janet back. I mean, y'all let Justin back, let Janet back, but Justin was the one who ripped that caused the wardrobe malfunction. He's the one who grabbed it, not her. So anyway, but that's a whole nother spiel. But
it was accidental, regardless.
Right, but why did y'all ban Janet and not Justin? That's like Janet's banned, and she's banned.
I mean, regardless, it was accidental, so nobody should have been banned.
Exactly. So that's why I need Jay-Z to bring Janet back, and I'll be a lot more satisfied. But the other thing about Jay-Z's involvement with the NFL, I also need him to take a different approach to this. I need Jay-Z to buy a team. We have no Black ownership, and that's part of the hiccup going on with the Brian Flores lawsuits, and then 9 coaching vacancies, and you hire 1.25 Black coaches. And so the disparity of that, the complex, like it's so complex, we need Black ownership. Now, Jay-Z, you got $1 billion. And I remember Diddy a few years ago, he wanted to make an attempt to buy your Panthers when Jerry Richardson was transitioning, and of course David Tepper took over. And I know Diddy wanted to get involved. Well, both of y'all billionaires, can y'all join forces? I mean, y'all used to tour together, both of y'all from New York and Bad Boy and Rockefeller back in New York. Can y'all collaborate one more time for the sake of NFL ownership? Now, I mean, I know like that Byron Allen's name has come around. He's circulating to possibly buy the Broncos. That would be great.
Yeah, I was just going to tell you about that.
Right, exactly. And then of course, before that, we had the Denver native also trying to buy the Broncos, Robert Smith, the entrepreneur and the philanthropist, but he actually declined. He stopped in his pursuit to buy the Broncos because he's stepping aside. He's actually taking like a Kaepernick approach. He's going to fight more for causes like social injustices and police brutality, and that's admirable. So I get it, but I hate that we lost a possible first Black owner in our lifetime. So that's really what I want Jay-Z to be. I know it's a reach and it's just a request, but I want Jay-Z to own a team. You got the clout, you got the song Money, Power, and Respect. You got all of that. And I think that you would be a very, very a contender. You would be a legit contender to do so. People would take you seriously, especially now that you've been shaking hands, you've got your hands involved with the music stuff. I mean, I really would like for Jay-Z to take that approach instead, and especially because like the halftime show is once a year. We need a daily owner. What are you about to say?
My only interjection with that is I definitely agree. I think we need minority owners. I definitely think that would help a lot. The only issue that I'm having with this whole minority owner thing is that the previous owner still gets to decide who he sells to.
I mean, I get that, but I think that at some point in time, that well is gonna run dry. Like, what if the black guy is the last remaining candidate? Like, so Byron Allen, stick this out, boo. Let's go ahead and trot this on out to the whole finish line. Let's go ahead and finish the course. I think Peyton and Eli are now getting involved, and of course, they could deter it as well. But I don't know how far they're gonna go or how long their money is. I don't know how long, and I ain't in nobody's pocket or nothing, but I'm just saying from a logistics standpoint, I don't know how long Peyton and Eli's money is. They're gonna have to get some show enough investors to back them.
Well, I think Byron Allen is pretty wealthy.
Byron Allen's a billionaire. Yeah,
I think he's up there with David Tepper, because I think he got some of his money the same way.
He got it. And see, Peyton and Eli, I mean, I know y'all Papa John's and y'all got the commercials and late, but y'all ain't got $1 billion, not even together. They don't. Like I said, they're gonna have to get some backing. But I just hope Byron Allen steers the course, stays, because of course, Mr. Smith, he dropped out admirably. I appreciate the reasons why, but I still hate that we lost a black owner, a serious, show enough good possible black owner. So I hate that. But then also when we're talking about Jay-Z, speaking of Jay-Z, when talking about Super Bowl performances, it's Beyonce's for me. And I'm like, the thing is, I know Michael Jackson had a halftime performance, but I was 7, 8 years old. I didn't get the full, like, I never even went to a Michael Jackson concert. So I didn't get to pass out like a lot of the people on YouTube. And I mean, I had a curl like Mike and I had a glove and a jacket, but I was still 7 and 8. So I didn't like him being an icon. I wasn't quite old enough to completely absorb that yet at the time that he performed at the halftime. Now, remember the time era? Sure, I got more into Michael Jackson, but the time that he performed at the Super Bowl, I wasn't quite there yet. I was a little bit too young. And then, of course, Prince, it rained during his performance, and it was absolutely beautiful. And Prince is so, plays all these instruments and just, he's timeless. But the difference between them two, and rest in peace to those icons, Beyonce was the one that helped me lose 20 pounds, not them. So it's always going to be Beyonce for me. And I remember the one when the Ravens and 49ers played, the one that she shut down all the lights. Mm-hmm. And when she did that one, I already knew all the choreography because I had all the DVDs. I went to all the concerts. I knew all the choreography. So I actually had my own little halftime performance in the living room floor. And I was rolling around dancing because I knew the choreography. Now, she fooled me on the one with Bruno Mars and them because she had strategically dropped formation that Saturday and all the memes and everybody was talking about Red Lobster. Then the very next day she performed it. And it was like the 50th anniversary of the Black Panther Party being founded. And they had like the X in the middle of the out there in the middle of the field. And Bruno Mars came out. She almost fell and she played it off. So all that was dope too. But I didn't know the routines. I know them now, but at the time I didn't. But yeah, it's always both for her performances, and she also performed the national anthem the same year that Janet's Food popped out. That one it was in Houston, and y'all played in that one. Y'all played the Patriots in that one. So anytime Beyonce was involved with Super Bowl halftime shows, those always do it for me. I like the Janet one, the Janet and JT one. That one was dope too. I hate how they did Janet though.
Girl, no,
I'm gonna give that.
I know you feeling some type of way about Janet, but Prince and the Purple Rain, and it was raining with the guitar.
I know. I said that, but Prince,
girl, that was the one for me. And he just kept going. Like I was like, I love Prince. Why did you have to die?
I know that was crazy. Like it's always the good ones. Prince gone, Mike gone, Luther gone. Yeah, it's Selena gone. It's crazy, but gosh, she probably could have performed at a halftime show too. She was like on her way. But dang, yeah, that's tough. And I'm looking forward to Mary, of course, obviously. But I heard Mary's only performing one song, Family Affair, which makes sense because Dr. Dre produced it and they're in LA and Dr. Dre's on the halftime show. So if that's the only song she's performing, it makes sense. But I hope that's just a rumor. And I can't wait to see what color boots she wearing. I know her hair gonna be blonde, but I can't wait to see what color boots she gonna be wearing. It'll be nice to see Kendrick again after so many years. Yeah, Snoop, maybe he'll come through on a 6-fold with some Dayton's on it. I don't know. I'm like Snoop always is everything for me. The commercials, just his personality when he was with Eli and Peyton on that Monday Night Football. Love Snoop. his commentary at not the Olympics, the horse racing. Like Snoop is dope. So looking forward to seeing him as well. And I think that it was dope that since it was in LA and they had LA artists, I think they should keep that. Like the year was in Atlanta, they had Adam Levine featuring Big Boy. They should have made it a whole Atlanta. And I think, yeah,
They could have went all in, boy.
yeah, it's Atlanta. Like, come on, dog. Y'all supposed to had really, and I think that's when
Yeah.
Jay-Z got involved. I think that was the one Jay-Z got involved because I think the Miami when they were in Miami, they had Shakira, Jennifer Lopez, the Latin field, so the theme was there. Jay-Z was involved, and that one made sense. So yeah, I think they
Because
should
even when they did the Shakira and them, I think even Flo Rida and what's my other guy popped up, Pitbull.
Yes. So it made perfect sense. I think they should stick with that because I was really disappointed how they did the Atlanta one. They need to go back to LA just because they owe us a halftime show for sure. So yeah, touchdown time or anything else to add, or we're looking forward to the big game.
No, but yeah, I had looked over here at Byron Allen, and they're looking to submit a bid for 3 to 4 billion with his group of investors. So that's more than David Tepper paid for the Carolina Panthers. He paid 2.2 billion for the Carolina Panthers in 2018. So this is a step up. I don't think he's gonna get a much bigger offer than that. And if I'm him, I'd take that money and go on something else.
Absolutely, because Peyton and Eli, I promise they don't have it.
I think they have some. I don't think it's billions. I don't think it's Byron Allen billions.
No, and you can add Archie Cooper and Olivia Manning's money in there, and it still ain't. It's not. Let's go on.
Well, see, and this is the other thing. This is an investment group, so this is what they do. So they've been doing it for a while. This is what they do. They probably buy properties, flip them, make them profitable, and then they sell them to somebody else. So I mean, and then this may be something that he wants to basically slowly buy the investors out over time and just become the sole owner.
That would make sense. That would be dope. That would definitely be awesome. I know like Serena and Venus, they own like a real low part of the Miami Dolphins. And even like in the NBA, Nelly's involved with like the Hornets, Usher's involved with the Cleveland Cavs, but it's really small amounts. So what Byron Allen is trying to do could be huge, could be a huge shift, and hopefully it'll be a blueprint and it'll start a trend, and we'll start to get more and more as time progresses. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe that's something we'll be able to talk about after the Super Bowl. Maybe something will be finalized by then. All right, no doubt. So looking forward to enjoying the Super Bowl. You enjoy that haircut. It looks amazing on you. So yeah, we appreciate you guys once again for tuning in for Touchdown Tomboy, Gridiron Goddess, WTF 2 Women Talk Football 2 on She ESPN the Network. We appreciate you guys checking us out, and we're out.